family, welcome back. Of course, it's one of the biggest weeks in South African football history. Of course, it is the Soweto Derby, yet again in focus, where we look at the performances of both Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates heading into this fixture again. To help me do that, I brought in my colleague Benjamin Ncikazi. Benjamin, how you doing?
What's up, man?
You good?
Sweet.
I see you got your Pirates colors in.
Look, it's a big week. You never know what might happen.
Yes.
Maybe a Kosi week.
Yes.
Maybe a Bagadnea week. Yeah, you never know. It's a big week.
Before we get into what these two teams can bring on the day, I want us to look at this fixture in the context of the pandemic. We know that this fixture is not only about the football; it's a lifestyle event. It's a big fixture in terms of just enjoyment in South Africa. And we haven't had that since the pandemic. We haven't had any fans in the stadiums. How much has that affected this fixture and how it's been received by the general public?
Look, it's a social event,
Yeah.
as you say, first of all. But also, importantly, we need to remember that the Soweto Derby also works as a feeder event for a lot of people.
Yes.
There's there's vendors.
Yep.
There's ladies who buy
Yep.
and sell over there. They haven't been able to do that. So economically also it's had a massive impact on a lot of homes. But also in terms of the players themselves,
Yep.
I think there's, you and I know that players feed off of the crowd and the whole euphoria in the week leading up to the derby or any big game. So if you don't have fans coming in buying tickets, you're less likely to have the build up and people talking about it from Monday, because they're not going. They're not really interested that much.
So the excitement levels are a little bit floundering since the pandemic. And it's interesting because, when we look at this fixture, and a lot of other people, and there's a bit of a school of thought where some other derbies have overtaken the Soweto Derby. You look at fixtures like Mamelodi Sundowns up against Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns against Kaizer Chiefs, probably now ahead of a Chiefs and Pirates derby.
Sundowns, big club, probably the best in the land right now. Let me not even say probably. Sundowns is just way too good right now. And when they play Chiefs, it's always going to be a big fixture. When they play Pirates, it's always going to be a big fixture. The problem is that when Chiefs plays Pirates, traditionally, it's always actually been a tense affair.
Yes.
It's been a bit of a cagey affair. So now, with how things have gone now, the pandemic, plus the team's not really doing well, it has gone... Chiefs has found a better partner in Sundowns. Pirates has found a better partner in Sundowns than they have against each other.
I want to speak then to that point because we find ourselves now with two teams that are sort of mid-table going into this fixture. They've both struggled, in this season to try and get some wins under their belts. We know Stuart Baxter is back at the helm at Kaizer Chiefs. Orlando Pirates have fired a coach already this season in Joseph Zimbauer. So going into this fixture, what are your expectations from both sides given their current form?
Pirates is, you won't expect Pirates to be one of the first clubs to fire a coach in a season, but it was just bad. The way Pirates was playing was bad. I mean, Pirates as strikers, Kabadinho, Mohango, Tehofa Zumabasa, they were not playing fully fit. They were not playing. Somehow they were playing a flat line up front, going instead for like a false nine approach. I don't understand why.
And them coming from the wide.
I don't understand why. Lodge, also. I don't understand why, but they look like Mandla Ncikazi and Fadlu Davids have done something to them. They've also been involved in continental football, so that might play a role as to whether the fatigue levels are there. I don't think so, because there's a bit of a rest, an unintended rest. I don't know, there's been some lesser football in the last week or so. But Chiefs look like they found their footing under Stuart Baxter. They started horribly but now they've got 2 wins in the bag already. They're playing Tuesday evening against Stellies.
Yes.
And that's going to be important going to the derby. You don't want to go to the derby having lost a game in the lead up. No matter what, the derby is still the derby, and no player wants to lose it. No fan wants to go back to work tomorrow having lost the derby.
In many instances, the fixture before the derby is probably the biggest one for those two teams, because there's always the sense where the players have got their one eye on the derby instead of the actual fixture that they're playing. What do you think that is going to happen between the in the build up to the derby, particularly the fixtures for these two sides going into the derby?
Players want to impress. That's the thing. Former players of both Chiefs and Pirates will tell you that, look, week of the derby, even the injured guy suddenly comes out of the sick bay and he's now, no, coach, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Some quarters on
I'm okay. So you expect players to try and go all out. The one worrying thing is, like you say, keeping one eye on a game you haven't played. Playing a game you haven't played, while you should be focused on this game, because you might lose it because you're not really fully focused on it. So what they need to do, concentrate, play the game, the actual game, and from the day after, then you can focus on the derby. You can try to do all your impressions. So it's a bit tricky for coaches, I must say, the game before the derby.
You spoke about Chiefs' form, a bit of resurgence now since that early slump in the season. They've got 2 wins. They've pushed themselves up to 5th on the table. That Keegan Dolly and Kama Billiard partnership looks like it's resurfacing. We saw how they did during their time at Mamelodi Sundowns, where they really tore apart teams with their movement. It looks good now heading into the derby. Is that a worry for Orlando Pirates?
It should be. Mandla Ncikazi will spend sleepless nights trying to figure out the Chiefs' pattern of playing. And remember, it's not only from Sundown. The Keegan Billiard combination goes back to Ajax days. So they've been playing together since then. They went to Sundowns, and Keegan Dolly carried a bit of excess weight at the beginning of the season, coming from France. Injuries, hadn't played a lot. So he comes in now. Kama Billiard looks a lot more comfortable when Keegan Dolly is playing. A bit of a reprisal of that CBD connection. Just
Castro's.
Just the C is still injured. But they've had a good run at Sundowns, and now you just look at Dolly when he's got the ball. He just knows where Billiard is, and Billiard knows equally where Dolly's gonna put the ball. He knows the run to make when Dolly's got the ball, and it's working wonders for Kaizer Chiefs.
Who is the potential headache for Stuart Baxter and Kaizer Chiefs from an Orlando Pirates perspective? They've also struggled for a bit of consistency in some of their lineups this season. There've been a lot of chopping and changing. So who do you potentially see could trouble that Kaizer Chiefs backline?
Orlando Pirates is one team that for me hasn't found what starting lineup they are. Right? You don't know whether Amathambo Mabasa is gonna start or what, and he looked like he's in good nick right now. So exactly why Coach Hugo Bruce
brought him into
the national team, because he looked like he's getting the hang of things. And Vincent Pule is always gonna be a worry for any team. So I think Stuart Baxter, if you look to neutralize Vincent Pule somehow, they don't have to worry about Loach now. He's is it a hamstring injury?
He's also had a couple of injuries plaguing him this season.
It's a bit of a problem, but I think if they can just cut the Vincent Pule channel, then they've got something to work with. But right now, what Pirates will be happy about is that Gabadinho Mahango is playing again, and players step up when they need to in big games.
Yeah.
One thing that both these sides have when they need to is big match temperament, and you will find that even players that are not on form when the game comes, they just step up. So it's Pirates. At the end of the day, it is Pirates. Whether they are bottom of the log when you're gonna play them, you need to remember that Pirates will always be Pirates.
Especially in the Soweto Derby.
Especially in the Soweto Derby, because no one wants the shame of going home knowing they lost the derby. It still matters. It will always matter.
Predictions?
I just hope.
Okay, wait. Firstly, before you get the predictions, I want you to take off your Kaizer Chiefs hat.
Yeah.
And predict properly.
Okay. I'm gonna take off my Kaizer Chiefs hat.
Yes.
I don't know where I get it, but I'm gonna take it off.
Okay.
Look, I think it'll depend on the midweek games.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good to look at the midweek games, look where the spirit of the players is, and also nobody wants to get injured in the game before the derby. That's why a lot of things ride on these games before the actual derby. If you get an injury to a key player, it might affect your tactics already affected. So I don't think it'll be a high scoring game.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a 1-0 game.
To who? To who?
It's gonna be a 1-0.
And we know that Pirates have had the wood over Kaizer Chiefs recently in the derby.
Yeah.
You know, if you go back until about 2018, they've dominated the fixture in recent times. So are you predicting the same way? You know, Pirates continuing in the same vein in dominating Kaizer Chiefs in this fixture?
I don't think they'll dominate them the same way they dominated last season. I think it was in the MTN 8 when they played away and home legs, and Pirates was just running right.
Irresistible.
It was, you know, free for all for Pirates. But now they've got Stuart. Stuart Baxter is a smart coach. He knows how to structure his team defensively.
Yes.
He's always said, if you don't concede a goal, you're not gonna lose the game. So Stuart Baxter would rather draw than try to win when he sees it's impossible to win. So I think I don't know. I'm gonna use the football cliches.
Yes. Football wins.
It's gonna be football wins.
Okay.
It's gonna be one in the midfield.
Oh my
word. The best team, one who wants it
on the day.
On the day.
Okay.
Yeah, the one who wants it. But I really think it's gonna be a 1-0 game, eh? But I think Pirates might just have enough psychological thing over Chiefs, psychological preparation in terms of the derby. Chiefs might not be feeling too good about themselves, knowing that they've lost so many derbies in recent times. And that's always key when you go into such a game. Pirates might win this game before Saturday, actually.
Well, those are the sentiments of Benjamin Leshuru, predicting just a single goal in this all-important fixture. Tell us where you're going to be watching this fixture. Of course, not a lot of fans that are going to be allowed in that stadium. We're going to be keeping an eye on those developments. Whether the PSL will allow some bit of fans into this fixture or not, we'll have to wait and see.